Okay, so here I stand today to speak on a topic that should be near and dear to all of our hearts. Here, talking about a protest that has taken so much precedence and has gained so much attention. Here, with this protest, this is a protest that is standing for not only the free speech in America, but as well as protecting and talking about the lives and the values of our sisters and brothers. And no, we may not all agree, but understanding that no one has the right to take anyone's life. So, whether you agree or not, the reason behind this protest should reign supreme and take precedence over everything. So, with that being said, kneeling in this protest is not about the flag, it's not about the soldiers, it's about the police brutality and injustice in America. As you can read with the Washington Post, the 2016 Washington Post, 963 Americans or people were killed in 2016 at the hands of the police. This is not just only African Americans, this is not only Caucasian people, this is people in general. With that being said, we have to understand that, as well as that, this kneeling is a better choice than rioting, as we can see with the Washington Times post of the 2017 anti-Trump rally that happened after the inauguration, where there was cars that were destroyed, there were businesses that were vandalized, there were police officers that were injured, and over 100 people were arrested for that incident. This is a better alternative, seeing as though this is not a violent protest. This is just something that someone is freely doing at their own freely given will, and they're right by the First Amendment to be able to do this. With that being said, we have to understand that the First Amendment gives us the right to freedom of press, freedom of speech, and the right to assemble peacefully. We have to understand that you can read that at theconstitutioncenter.org. You can look up the First Amendment and read that. Not only that, we have to understand the definition of peaceful. Peaceful means not rambunctious. It means not full of wrath or war, things like that. And you can read that at dictionary.com, looking up the word peaceful. We have to understand that this is what the people in our service, men and women, are fighting for. They're fighting for us to have that First Amendment right. So these are the people that are fighting for us to even have the value of life that we have. So how can we say this is something that's disrespectful to them when this is something that they're fighting to give us the chance to do? No, we may not all agree, as I said before, but we have to understand we don't have the right to say that they are completely wrong for this. No, you may not always agree, but to say that they shouldn't be able to do this protest is against their right as well as yours and mine. Not only that, we have to understand that now a lot of people are becoming distracted with this act. They're more focused on the kneeling. They're more focused on the person that's doing the kneeling, or the NFL, the flag, instead of focusing on the foundation of this protest. You have to understand that this protest is once again about the police brutality and injustice here in America. We have to understand that if we don't focus on that, we'll never completely get through with this kneeling. So once we've done that, as many of the people that will counteract this argument or this speech will say, well, where do you go after? And I think that's where the lack within this protest has begun, is not knowing what's the next step after we've gained this attention. What do we do after we've gained this attention? Where do we go from here? Yes, now that you've gotten everyone's attention, where do you go from here? I think the first step we have to understand is we have to get people to really understand what's the foundation of this. I believe many people have taken on a side with this protest just because their parents, their mothers, their fathers, or someone close to them has given their opinion on what they should believe and what they should say about this protest. But I believe we must educate everyone on why this protest is happening, what this protest is about, and why we're having it. Once we get through with that step, then we need to go on to, well, now that we've gained the attention of the foundation, where do we move from there? How do we handle police brutality? And even as we can see, even with the body cameras that have been placed on police officers now, those aren't as, as mind intriguing, or it's not really a step that has really made the police officers realize that they're on camera and stop doing the things that they're doing. I'm not saying that attacking police is the right thing. I'm not saying that destroying things is the right thing, but we must find a complete and peaceful way of moving from this protest to now working with the police and the justice system in America to see what we can do to make this a better America for not only us as African Americans, but everyone as a whole. This is not just a protest that's about African Americans, even though they are the ones that are more affected by this. But this is something for all Americans, not just those that we see pretty much on the news. This is such a wide variety of people that we need to target with this. Thank you.